Unpopular opinion. I am not a fan of the clean girl aesthetic. It's just not my thing. I was living my best life back in 2016 when we had bright, bold makeup looks and we weren't afraid of color. Personally, I want to bring that back. So I thought, what better way to do that than to teach y'all how to do Pinterest-inspired, bright makeup eye looks step by step. Today, we're going to be doing this Mystery Machine-inspired makeup look on the other eye. Of course, I never follow anything exactly, so I have added some things and removed some things to make it my own, and I'll show you how to do it. First, I will be laying down a layer of this color-based primer from Beauty Creations in Orange Blast across the top part and the bottom of my eye. We are going to use a flat brush. This is actually a paintbrush. Sometimes I use paintbrushes on my face, and sometimes I use makeup brushes in my DIYs. It's just whatever tool works for the job. Just gonna lay down a layer of that color-based primer to give that eyeshadow something to stick to. These are very affordable. They're like $4 each. But if you need to skip this step, you can. I would recommend using a primer, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a colored primer. You can use a neutral primer and get a similar result as far as the makeup sticking to your eyes goes. But primer is an important part of that process. I'm going to bring it down below my eye here and above. I am going to bring it a little bit below that crease because we're going to carve that out here later. Get my general shape. Make sure it's nice and flat and even. Then we will move on to eyeshadow. We will be using one palette for most of this look and then another highlighting palette, but really one palette will do the trick. This is the Exotic Flavors palette from YouCanBe. We are going to be using, this is a well-loved palette as you can see, we're going to use this bright orange right here, this bright green, this blue. Start with the orange. We're going to be using this flat packing brush and packing on that color above my crease. And you can also use this brush if you don't want to pull out a fluffy brush, which honestly you should. But if you don't want to, you can use this brush to blend with. It does have enough bristles that you can blend with it if you don't want to dirty up another makeup brush. I am not going to because I am a little bit of a perfectionist, so I will be taking a fluffy brush and blending those edges. Now I'm going to take that little fluffy brush that looks like a broom. It has no eyeshadow on it. We are going to go side to side and in little circles around the edge of that shadow and just blend those edges out. If you see any spots where it starts to lose its color, you can gently dip back in and refill that brush and then gently pull up towards your temples to blend that out. You can blend as much or as little as you want. The more you blend, the more it will blow out that shape. If you want a real tight shape, just blending the very edges can make it look finished without losing that shape that you want. And that's kind of what I'm going for today because I do want to keep this shape intact. Personally, I don't mind going all the way up to my eyebrow because I don't have a lot of real estate to work with. So I'm going to use as much of that real estate as I would darn well please. I'm going to use that same line of color-based primers. We're going to use the blue one, Blew My Mind, and the green one in Jade, and cover our lid. So with the blue one, you want to relax your eye, especially if you have hooded eyes. And you want the line to go above your lid where you can still see it when you close your eyes. That's why you need to make sure your eye is relaxed. I'll pull up a mirror here so that I can see better what I'm doing. And then you can close your eye and fill in. When your eye is relaxed, you can still see that blue. Going to do the same thing with the green. Blend it gently into the blue by just pulling that blue into the green. And this part doesn't have to be perfectly blended because we are going to put eyeshadow over it. Now with a clean packing brush, let's go into this blue right here and pack that on our lid over top of that primer. And I'm just pressing and gently pulling out the edge. Same thing with this neon green on the outside. We're going to gently work it into the blue as well. Can always dip back into that blue to help blend those two together. But there's another step that's going to help us blend even more. I want a bright inner corner, so I'm going to use this Arbella Your Colors, Your Rules palette. And as much as I don't like using my fingers on my face, a lot of times for this particular application, fingers are easiest. There we go, make the match. Then I want to use this blue one right here that has a little bit of a golden shift to it and put it over that blue. See how the shimmer shades blend a little easier than matte shades do. Nice little hack if you have trouble blending colors together is to use a shimmer. I'm going to back into my You Can Be palette with this green right here. But do you see how much easier those blend than the matte shades did? Particularly neons. Neons can be finicky to work with. There you go. Made it that simple. That's the eyeshadow portion pretty much done. Now I want to take a white liner. You can use whatever white liner you have. Even sometimes you can use a eye safe lipstick. Certain lipsticks are eye safe. Make sure you check. Or you can take some color mixing liquid and mix it with any eyeshadow and get any color eyeliner you want. It's a little hack that I do. I happen to have a white liner. I'm not recommending it because it's not the greatest, but I'm going to draw a white line across my lid here. Pull it out into a wing, and then I want to do a little loop-de-loop at the end, just to give it a little whimsy. These two steps are where I've kind of made it my own. I added the loop-de-loop. The loop-de-loop is not in the original, and the black waterline and the black liner are not in the original, but I am a black wing girl, so most of the time I'm doing black in my waterline and as my eyeliner. The Miss Rose one, I got it from TikTok Shop. It works pretty well. It's like $3. And then this is the Judy Doll black eyeliner that I really like. I've become a big fan of this one. A little tip whenever you are drawing a wing is to not directly point it at your eye. You lose a lot of control this way. You want to lay it flat. So, for instance, I'm going to take from out here, pull towards my eye while keeping it flat. Same thing this way. So that I have a little more control of that line, and then I can go back and fill that line in. To give it a sharp point. I have gone over my white line a little bit, but that is fine because I can always go back and fix the white line as needed. One more step before we do lashes is these little flowers. They're pretty simple. A couple ways you can do these also. I'm going to use a paint disc. This one's from Snarls Box. You can also take that same mixing liquid, mix it with any eyeshadow, and create yourself a liner. This is a little bit quicker, simpler. The other one takes a couple more steps, but if you don't want to buy a paint disc, it's a good way to go. I'm going to use the orange, and I'm just using a paintbrush again, just a regular paintbrush. And I'm going to draw 5 little circles all right next to each other. And I am doing this one slightly different than I did the other one. Just because, why not? Whimsy, right? And now we'll rinse off that brush, go into the yellow, and place a yellow dot through the center of each flower. And there you go. 2 different ways you can do it. You can put the little swirl in the middle. You can put the little swirl on the outside. Entirely up to you. You can do big flowers, small flowers. I just kind of wanted to demonstrate how different they would look based on size and placement. This one's a little bit more visible. This one's a little bit more subtle. Personally, I like this one a little bit better, but if I wanted to be a little bit more dramatic, I can make them a little bigger. Do I care that they don't match? No, I don't. Mainly because I was demonstrating. If you want to, you can play. From this point, just there you go. I like that a little better anyway. Just add another little loop-de-loop over here. Ta-da! All right, so now I've applied some mascara. You could also apply a lash if you wanted. But there you go. There is your Mystery Machine inspired makeup look.